May is Museum Month, and we thought it would be fun here at Museum of Lennox Addington to discuss what museums mean to us in this year's theme of wellness and sustainability. You're going to get the inside scoop on why and how we got involved in museums and what we think they can offer in terms of wellbeing and sustainability. So you can listen in on our discussion and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Okay, so the first thing we want to kind of discuss is just how museums have contributed to our well-being, whether how we've been working in them, how we've been a visitor at a museum, volunteer.
Well, I guess my love for museums started at a really young age. I grew up in Windsor, and my parents had a family pass to the Hemingway Museum in Detroit, and we would go over every Sunday, or quite frequently on Sundays, because that was the day my dad had during the weekend. We would go over to the Hemingway Museum, we would go out for lunch, and then the pairing to that was the Greenfield Historic Village, which is like a village type experience. And it was wonderful because we would spend hours walking through the Hemingway Museum, and it was quite substantial. And I would just be lost in the awe of all the objects inside this museum. And so it really sparked a love for my love for history early on. Museums became a family point for me. It was something that I did with my mom and dad and my brother and sister. It was time together. So I think if you're thinking about well-being, it certainly set that tone for me at a really young age that it was a safe space, that it meant family time, it meant exploration. So that's kind of my foundational bit in terms of what museums have done for me and how they've had that root within me.
For me, it's really been something since I went into training for museums that I really found that piece of well-being. And I find it, since I started working there, it's given me a source of satisfaction contributing to our society, because museums allow us to connect with our past and today, and it's that whole saying that, like, if you don't learn from your past, you'll repeat it. So I feel like by helping to contribute to showing people the artifacts and telling their stories and like helping them connect with it, I contributed in my own way to society and past mistakes.
I think I kind of had a similar experience with Joanne. Growing up, every summer we would go on a big family trip, and we were always in the museums that we would get. We would prepare to go to Calgary. And even though we went last to the museums every year, there was always something to explore and learn how to growing museums in life. But also, as a really young family, because I grew up near science world, big science museum up in Sudbury, and my brothers worked there. So in summers our parents would drop them off, they would drop me off, and we would spend the morning my day to wander around the museum and just free to explore whatever it was. Learning what was that way.
Yeah, I think for myself, like similar to what we've all said, it started at a young age, as you're a kid, going to some of those staples in your hometown and around. But I think it was, and that led to my love of just history and taking that throughout school. But then it was this, what do I do with this knowledge now? And I think for me, since volunteering and working in museums, it's been a real outlet for me to be creative, which I think we're very fortunate that we get a chance to do that in our jobs, because not every job offers that as a source for you to get creative and do things and read things that inspire you and that can create, whether it's a brand new exhibit concept, it's a program, it's social, it's how you're telling people about that history in the archives, right? So it's, I think, and that has just led me to a better sense of well-being, and that there's something I'm doing in my day-to-day that's really fulfilling.